So, hi everyone. This is Renee. If I'm freezing in this video, it's because it's one of those internet days, but we're still recording. So today I have someone with me, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Please share your preferred name, your pronouns, and the country you were born or grew up
Yes. Hey Renee, my name is Shawn Hercules, and I go by any pronoun that is coming from a good intention. So yeah, that's how I feel. I was born in Barbados, and I now live in Canada.
with. Okay, and thank you for introducing yourself, Sean. So, are you or identify as part of the LGBTQ plus community?
Yeah, I would say that I'm um, just whatever is not straight. So I just go by queer, not gay, not bi, just not straight. I'm not in a box, I guess, is what I mean. And queer is the term that I resonate with most because I cannot be put in a box. I am unhappy with boxes.
Thank you for sharing that, and I quite understand it. Actually, I think for me, you kind of that put in the more people tell you're in this box and you associate with it. And I got to a point too, well, where I found that I went with queer because queer is overarching, and I found that and also it was a bit of reclaiming the word because there was a period where it had negative connotations, and I felt we should have ownership of the word that really or um so what was life for you growing up in Barbados as a queer person?
Yeah, so um, as a queer person growing up in Barbados, I my earliest memory or the strongest memory that comes to me right now, I think I was like an infant's B, or infant's A. I can't remember how old I was, but I was quite young, and I um I was being teased because I was innocently just saying that a boy was cute because like it just felt natural that this boy was cute. And they're like, ew, use a bulla. Like, and I was like, what, like, what's a bulla? Right? So I was just very confused. And I asked my best friend at the time if he's ever heard of this word. He was like, oh no, he's going to ask his mom. So he asked his mom, and he came to school the next day and told me what bulla was. And I was like, so sad. Like, I was really upset that these people, I don't know, again, try to put me in this box, and that there were negative connotations to that word, and that negative connotations were associated with me. So there was a lot of like trying to act straight, whatever that is, like not say things like, "Oh, I think that boy is cute." Um, Try not to, I don't know, stare men too long in the eyes, just walking, just existing, so they don't think like I'm like into them or something. Um, yeah, yeah. And it was also a bit confusing for people as well because um I've not only dated men, right? So then there was also there was a layer of confusion for some people. And yeah, growing up queer was definitely there were roller coasters. It was a roller coaster, sorry, it was a roller coaster of feelings and emotions of one thinking this boy is cute, like on a high and low, like, oh, I really shouldn't be doing this. I hate myself. Um, because I was being uh I understood that I have to hate myself in order to be hate this part of me in order to be accepted and to move forward in society. So, yeah, that was a ramble, but that's how it was like for me growing up queer.
Yeah. No, that's actually, you said a ramble, but it's quite understandable. I mean, um, you learn early, especially when you learn from through teasing, to condition and change behavior. And that's what you just shared. And it's a thing that a lot of people do in society, having to monitor antics of movement. I use my hands a lot. I always was being told or tried to control keeping still, just because people thought I'm feeling my hands wrong is very, you know, queer. So yeah, totally understand. And I ramble as well. So why did you leave Barbados and was it an easy?
Yeah, so I left Barbados in 2015 to pursue my PhD um, at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. And it was it was easy for me, actually. It was very easy, actually. The main thing that was like making me hesitate a bit was just being so far away from your loved ones and stuff, and that was a that was a hesitation, but um my family has always been very supportive of me pursuing my education and whatnot. So yeah, it was easy for me to leave Barbados. I felt like, okay, time to start a new chapter.
So now that you're in Canada, because you went to Hamilton to pursue your PhD, and then I know that you were been living there since 2015. How is life there for you now, and especially as a queer person? And I'm going to ask after. Well, let me start with that, and you answer. I have one more question after.
Yeah, so as a queer person, I do not think about, like, my brain is not clouded with all of these uh, like fears and hesitations about just presenting as myself. I can wear makeup if I want to, and I don't feel strange about that. I would like think so much about that if I were to like even put highlighter on my cheeks or something in Barbados. Um, at least before. Now, since I've visited and I've gone back, I've worn a full face of makeup. I hold hands with my now fiance. Um, like
Yay!
I
Yay to that, by the way. Congrats.
thank you. Um, yeah, things have changed a bit for me now that I go back, but that has come about from being in this environment here where I don't have to edit myself. Again, I don't want to be in a box, you know? So I just feel very like at peace and happy with who I am and how I present myself to the world. I'm more confident. But I should also say this didn't happen like overnight. This was a journey. It is a journey. I didn't just leave Barbados, hop on a plane, flew to Canada, and as soon as I landed at university, I was like, "Hey," it was not like that. Um, there was a lot of unlearning and like self-discovery, introspection that I went through and still go through in terms of rediscovering Shawn and living fully as Shawn and presenting as Shawn. And that is what living here has greatly contributed to that.
Okay, that's great. I think there is always, as you said, a journey and growth, and every encounter or experience adds to that for sure. Um, my added question actually, as a queer Black immigrant, especially of Caribbean heritage, what are some of the things you have to navigate in a global North society? And how, presenting itself and engaging with people. And then also
Yeah.
as a person coming back home as well.
Pardon?
And also added to that as well, all those things, and then as a person coming back home, what's that like?
Yeah. So, um, people often say that as a non-white person or as a Black person in North America, you have to work twice as hard to get to the level of prestige or um, acceptance or success. Success is the word I'm looking for. You have to work twice as hard to get half the level of success as your white counterparts. And in some ways, that is true. Um, but I've also um, hmm, okay. So with that being said, I I've really worked hard. Of course, like I've worked really hard to like do a PhD. It's like quite intense. But you know, I've worked hard to prove myself and to show who I am. But there's also a point where that gets exhausting, you know? So I because there have been other there have been pioneers that have gone on before us that have fought for us to be seen as equal, and I'm like so thankful for them. I am able to express myself and show up as myself, as fully Black, fully queer, Caribbean, and not have to edit myself again. Like it's at that intersection of Blackness, queerness, and just gender expression and all of that that I've had to navigate and still navigate. But I, over time, honestly, have just been me, like confident, like take me or leave me. Like people are like, oh, like if you wear makeup to this interview or something, like they're not gonna want to hire you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to fucking work there. Like that's not an environment I want to work in. Or people are like, oh, like you're so like whatever with your Twitter or your Instagram, you need to edit yourself. I'm like, no, I am not ascribing to professionalism. I think it's stupid. And I think that, yeah, I just think it's not for me, is what I'm trying to say. And I am not engaging in all of that mental work to be accepted. Um, what I will do though is not take disrespect. So if then I am being confronted in a way because of this intersection, my sexuality, my gender expression, my blackness, I will fight back for sure. But I'm not going to enter a space and like be so calculated about these things. It's not worth it to me.
Wow. No, it is interesting. And also I added on a part there with how is that, I know as Shawn has become the Shawn that I know today, when you come back to Barbados to visit, like how is that shit?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've known me for quite a while now, so you probably have seen like
I've seen
all
the
of
change.
these.
I've seen the journey. That's what I should say, not the change. The
Yes, exactly. So you've seen the journey of, I think at the time you met me in Barbados, I was like very closeted. Um, yeah, I was very closeted, like not many people knew about my sexuality, or I mean, I didn't even fully like understand it myself either, right? Um, and now like I'm living life with like unhindered, unrestrained. And when I go back to Barbados, there's sometimes there's this like actually most of the time there's this hesitation to show up fully as myself. But but it is a lot less now than what it was before. Like before, like as I mentioned, like I wouldn't even for lip gloss or something, you know, because that's gay.
Yeah.
Um,
I have people here freak out with lip balm, applying lip balm, and I'm just like, it's lip balm.
I think we've lost Renee. Oh,
I'm back. That's my computer.
okay,
So I said I
okay.
apply lip balm, um and people suddenly speak about wearing lip balm. Go. say what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but when I go home now, I'm a lot I'm more free. I'll just say that. Since I've gone back and like I am with my fiance, like we walk along the beach, we're holding hands, kiss in public, we're not like hiding. We haven't really received a lot of hate. There's one night, actually, more than one, this last time we went to Barbados. But, just when people are like, them billows are, you know how it is. Um, but honestly, like I was surprised at um, how relatively safe I felt in Barbados being openly affectionate with a man.
Because
And also,
I've seen the pictures. I was like, whoa, this is you in Barbados with your fiance. And it was like, wait a minute.
yeah,
You with your fiance, not, just, oh, there's a friend standing next to you. See that there's love there when you all were in a catamaran and whatever else. This is,
yeah, yeah, for sure. And again, also, it's not just sexuality, but also gender expression. I wear my makeup. I dress in whatever clothes I feel comfortable in, whether that's more masculine or feminine or a mix of both. I have done that in Barbados as well and I felt relatively safe as well. Obviously, this is all relative, like compared to here, not as safe or not as free, but definitely freer than um, how I would have felt before I left Barbados.
well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me and share. It's always a pleasure. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. Thanks for inviting me. I will also say that if everyone leads with love, like the world would be such a better place. Um, like people just have so much vitriol and hate within themselves that they spew that out towards our communities, or they use whatever ideology they have, whether that's whatever religion, to spill hate, but in their minds it's out of love. Like I don't know, it's just so confusing. I just think people should mind their business and love people, and like we would just have an amazing society, right? Like we wouldn't have all of this hate, all of this fighting, all of these disagreements, at least between our communities, towards our community, sorry. And yeah, it just pains me that we're so divisive.
I agree. I think I totally agree. And I think if there was more empathy, love, taking time to understand people, we wouldn't have so many things I see happening now. I see it this push against women's rights, um, LGBTQ rights, the xenophobia, sorry, um, and so they see I refugees and migrants being caught in that, and as well with women. So if I didn't say that before, so women, refugees, LGBTQ people, I'm very passionate about all those topics. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap here, and thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.